The hum of the MRI machine was my world. A cold, metallic symphony that played the soundtrack of my cancer journey. Each thump and whir felt like it was scanning not just my body, but my soul, searching for the last remnants of the person I used to be. I was a ghost in my own life, pale and trembling, defined by a single, brutal word: terminal illness. The day they said palliative care, the world lost its color. Hope felt like a betrayal. My mental health was a barren field, frozen under the weight of a future I wouldn't have. My wife, Sarah, would hold my hand, her touch the only tether keeping me from floating away into the void. She talked of grief and healing, but I couldn't hear her. I was already mourning myself. Then, on a day so gray it seemed the sun had given up too, she brought in a small, scuffed notebook. "Write it down," she whispered, her voice thick with a love that stubbornly refused to die. "The pain. The anger. The fear. All of it. Don't let it eat you alive. This is your coping mechanism." I scoffed. What was the point? But out of a weary sense of obligation, I opened it. The first sentence was a splatter of ink and rage. "I am so angry at the sun for rising." Something broke. And then, something began. Day after day, I filled those pages. I wrote about the crushing trauma and recovery that wasn't coming. I wrote about the childhood memories that now felt like scenes from someone else's movie. I wasn't just writing, I was excavating. I was building a support system with paper and ink, a place where I could be utterly, terrifyingly broken without having to explain it to anyone. This personal growth felt cruel and unfair. Why did I have to face my death to finally understand my life? One entry, written in a rare moment of peace, was about the old maple tree in our backyard. I described how I'd watched it through the window for weeks, how it had stubbornly held on to its last crimson leaf through howling wind and sleet. That night, a storm finally ripped it away. I wrote a eulogy for that leaf. And in doing so, I unknowingly penned my own psychological resilience. A shift occurred. The writing wasn't just a vessel for my pain, it became a map. It led me back to my family. I started writing stories for my son, Leo. Silly tales of a brave little leaf's adventures after it was swept from its tree. His laughter became the most potent medicine on the planet. I wasn't just fighting to die peacefully anymore. I was fighting to live, truly live, in the time I had left. My emotional well-being was no longer about the absence of sadness, but about the profound presence of love, amplified by the ticking clock. The outcome of my diagnosis never changed. But I did. My final entry reads, "They say I am in the sunset of my life. If that's true, then I will make it the most breathtaking sunset anyone has ever seen. I am not a victim of a terminal illness. I am a husband. I am a father. I am the author of my last and greatest chapter. My legacy isn't in my blood cells, it's in these pages, in Leo's laughter, in Sarah's eyes. This is not surrender. This is a different kind of victory. This is my story, and I am so grateful I finally learned how to live it." The notebook sits on Sarah's bedside table now. My grief and healing became hers to carry. But she tells me she doesn't read it with sadness. She reads it and feels me, fully, fiercely alive on every page. They say every story needs an ending. But the best ones never really end, they just become a part of someone else's beginning. And mine, I hope, became a foundation of strength, a lesson in love, and a testament to the unbreakable human spirit.